as they were for their semi-final yesterday. Windsor Boys School, by the way, in Berkshire Station, when they beat Tideway Scullers. What can they do today up against Hinksey Sculling School?
That was phenomenally fast there from the Windsor boys on the left-hand side of your picture. The titans of the Fawley Challenge Cup, as you've just heard from Tim. Their pedigree in this event needs no introduction. They're trying to make it 5 wins, like you say, in the last 9 years.
Well, they went off like a rocket, didn't they? But actually, to be fair to Hinksey, they matched them. I'm just watching Hinksey at the moment, and they're not far down here, if at all. So definitely Windsor boys are quite eye-catching, that start, wasn't it? But Hinksey seemed to have matched it.
And I think being calm and collected in that first stroke can almost be just as advantageous as trying to ratchet the racing up to get away with that nice, stable platform. You can get the power down that little bit easier. And Hinksey doing really well here to match Windsor boys off the end of the island. And again, we talk about Windsor's pedigree. I think Hinksey are up there as well with being huge, notorious names within the Fawley Challenge Cup. They've made the final of the weekend now for the last 3 years. And here they are once again racing against Windsor boys.
See Judah Turnbull in the bow seat there. I don't know if you caught that at Hinksey bow seat in the middle of the picture there. He was shouting the orders. There he is again, yeah, can you see? Bit of chit-chat. He's not ordering dinner there, is he? He's making absolutely sure his boat are doing what he wants them to do. No,
and I've heard great things about Judah Turnbull from Axel Dickinson, who tells me, you know, he's a great club man, loves Hinksey. This will be his last run down the track for Hinksey Sculling School in the Fawley, so wants to make it a last one, fast one. And I'm sure we'll be encouraging Bennett Nirmal and Louis Harris and Eli Kuna in the stroke seat with him. But Windsor boys, look at this. I mean, the favourites on paper here in this event, and you can absolutely see why.
Yes, good for their favourites tag at the moment. Hinksey have their work cut out. Bolting away from those start pontoons and then powering off down the course, the Windsor Boys School. They're full of energy, don't they? And yeah, very well drilled crew.
All of this Windsor boys crew have raced at Henley Royal Regatta before, and especially the stroke seat, Joe Wellington, 18 years of age, the reigning Fawley Challenge Cup champion, so looking to defend the title here along with his crew, backed up by Ruben Taylor, also 18 years of age and 3 previous Henleys to his name. And then a bit of a younger bow pair to follow, which is
17-year-olds.
Yeah, and you know, we may see them next year again, Tim, sort of moving up through the boat and leading them out. But look at this.
The question will be, are they going to defend next year, or are they going to be challenging? Isaac Thornton and Bailey Taylor in 2-seat and bow for that Windsor Boys School, who are moving so well. In charge of the steering is Joe Wellington in the stroke seat. He's the 18-year-old who's 3 previous Henley Royal Regattas to his name. There they are, and they're just dropping the rate now in mid-race, aren't they? Just trying to maybe conserve a bit of energy for later on. But that first half of the race isn't far off perfection.
And Mark Wilkinson's crews always have this very distinctive build into Henley Royal Regatta. Their results earlier in the season sometimes, you know, are not quite as strong as they are here at Henley, but even then, looking down at this crew's roster for this year, they've managed gold at Head of the Charles, gold at the Heineken Röverkampen, gold at the School's Head in March. So yeah, I mean, this will be the crown jewel in what has been a near-on perfect season for the boys from Berkshire, from Windsor. And look at the run they've got on this boat, Tim. It is absolutely sensational to see it slicing through the water here, and in perfect unison.
So 2 of the last 3 years Windsor boys have won this, including last year when they beat Marlow. This year taking on Hinksey Sculling School, and at the moment it's all going according to plan for them. In the green and gold, Windsor boys in the Fawley Challenge. Shall we have a look down at what's happening in the Hinksey boat? Have they got anything left to give? How deep can they dig between now and the end of the race? You can see in the boat there Ali Kuhn, Louis Harris, Vedon Nimari and Judah Turnbull.
And a great career, like I say, great to see them in the final once again, great to see them here at the weekend once again, and a big shout out to their coach, James McAnallen, who, again, has just been really zoning in on making sure that these crews row with great technicality, but also the right mindset, and that's something that really presides in these crews from Oxfordshire. Wonderful to see. And actually, one thing I should note, we looked there at Eli Kuna in the stroke seat, who you mentioned, who's actually on an exchange from New Zealand to Hinksey Sculling School. So great to see, because a lot of the boys from Hinksey go back to New Zealand, and we saw earlier in the week Herbie Austin Baker, who raced in the Diamonds, who had been in New Zealand after graduating from the Hinksey programme. So these boys might go on to do something great, like race the Diamonds one day, like we saw Herbie do earlier in the week.
So Windsor Boys being pushed by Hinksey Sculling School there, hammering along, asking the Windsor Boys School a question. That could, Camilla, it could lead to a fast time. We reckon there's a slightest of tailwinds. I'm just looking at the flags on the crosswind, tailwind, take your pick, but it's pretty fast conditions out there, and Windsor Boys have put together a good race, so you just never know.
Do you know what? I can tell it is a bit of a tailwind, actually, because I can see all of the little bits of curtain on our press box starting to flow in towards our faces here on the finish line. So perhaps Windsor Boys might have clocked from their stroke coach, their speed coach, what their time is, whether there's a potential for a record here on the cards. And look at them winding now in front of the stewards.
A huge lead. Wind assisted now in front of stewards, big crowd. And a few more strokes being cheered home by friends and family on the bank. What a moment for them. Bailey Taylor, Isaac Thornton, Reuben Taylor and Joe Wellington. Joe Wellington in the stroke seat, won the Fawley last year in this boat and has done it again. Windsor Boys School keep their stranglehold on this event, winning the Fawley again at Henley. High fives and congratulations to all in that boat. Here come Hinksey Sculling School, who drove Windsor on all the way. That was a high-quality performance, wasn't it, from those in that boat, and they are absolutely ecstatic.